sometimes we get so involved in the story because we do want to create that story. But there's not really a hard and fast rule, but it should be exactly this many lines or exactly this many paragraphs. With copy, it always kind of takes what it takes to get the job done. But overall, what I would say to you is that it needs to not be super long. The faster you can get to the point, the better, because you can always come back to some of that story later on in the sales letter. The other thing I would do is look at sales letters that if you happen to, we should all be like collecting kinds of things for what we look at for examples of sales letters and copy that we like, or things that we know have done well, where we've heard, that, yeah, this sales letter really knocked it out of the park, and just do some Googling, you'll find things like that. And kind of look at the pacing of how those intros go. I heard a saying the other day, and it's kind of like, it goes kind of like this, that learn the rules well so that you can then break them. And that's like when I talk about my end of the road, I call it the end of the road sales letter. So one Gary Bencivenga gave me just a huge, fantastic testimonial for, because the title, the headline is, "You've reached the end of the road," and that's not a typical, very much not a typical headline. I knew I was doing it, and it was part of a storyline, and there had meaning and significance in the sales letter. But I know enough about writing a sales letter. I know when I can break the rules. And so the first thing is just really look at the structure that you're learning in authentic copy. There's some samples in your guidebook, and just kind of follow that pathway of the timing. And then it'll get easier for you as you go. But the main thing to remember is you don't need to make it very long. When you're writing your sales letter, think, how quickly can I get to the point? You don't have a long time to capture someone's attention when they're reading your sales letter. When we talk about even just the headline, it might be 7 or 8 seconds. That's all you've got to either grab them in, grab their eyeballs, grab their attention, so that they want to come further into that sales letter with you, or they're gone because it just doesn't connect to them, or it's too hard to understand, it's too convoluted, there's something too complicated about it. And so we want to be able to bring them to the next line and the next line and the next line. And so that's why sometimes when you're first trying to write a sales letter, just write it. If you're feeling something about it and you want to tell a certain kind of story, go ahead and do that. But then when you go back, that's when you're going to go back in kind of a ruthless way and say, do I need to take that long? Does it feel like I'm taking a long time to get to the point of what this is about? Because we don't have the luxury of very long waiting periods for people to say, well, I'll just hang in there with you while I try to figure out what this is about, right? So you want to be able to get them, better to do it quickly than to go so far that they're lost. All right.